So Mifrah, you can tell us if you have any stories to share about fasting, because in the beginning of the show, I was talking about Ramadan, and I know that this is the month of fasting for all of us, and I know you're fasting, and Fauzia is fasting, and I'm fasting, and our producer, I'm pretty sure Tina's fasting. And I'm asking you, in your workplace or within your friend circle or family circles, have you heard any of those stories or questions that people ask? I've certainly faced those questions, but I want to hear from you, because you folks are the experts, right? You do all the training. So if you can provide some guidance to our audience with regards to the questions that are asked during Ramadan, and share a little bit of light on what Ramadan is, what fasting is, and what Muslims hope to achieve through fasting.
So we've had a range of experiences, from the simply curious, or no water even. I think that's the most common one we all get. And isn't it a bit too harsh? What about pregnant women? What about, people who are too young or people who are too old? And I get it, they're coming from a good place. They're out of curiosity. But I had some not so good experiences as well, in which people use it like an opportunity to question whether you deserve to be here. So Fauzia's here heard me tell this story a lot of times. This is about last Ramadan, and I had someone for some service I asked for, and they saw me putting up decorations for Eid. And this person asked, what's going on? And I said, well, it's Eid tomorrow. And she asked, what is Eid? And I said, well, it's Christmas, but the Muslim edition. So she's like, oh, okay, then that means you're Muslim. I was like, yeah, I am. And she's like, okay, I've got to ask you this question. And I was like, okay. And she's like, what do you think of OB? And for the life of me, I couldn't understand what she's referring to. And I thought, maybe she thinks Muslims are like a Star Wars kind of cult with Obi-Wan Kenobi figures around her house or something. and I'm racking my head. My kids are watching. I'm like, what is she referring to? Like, does she think Obama is Muslim? Like, and suddenly it hit me. And I asked, are you referring to Osama bin Laden? And she's like, yeah. What do you think about him? And I was like, in my head, I was like, are you serious? But I was like, okay, keep calm. And, Fauzia's taught me well how to keep a calm head. And I said, I don't know, I think he's a terrorist. So she said, oh no, but then what about the Quran? And what about Islam? He uses all of that. And I said, well, the KKK used the Bible. What is your point? So it was a very nasty experience. But again, as I said, I have some really good mentors in the CMW, and I called her again, and over many, many months, we came to a place where it was less toxic, relatively less toxic, and hopefully it was a start of, new relationships. Yeah. So yeah, the whole range of, experiences we've had.
And then I'm just going to offer something different as well. So here in Waterloo region, we're very proud to bring Give 30, which is a national, now an international campaign, basically inviting everyone, whether fasting or not, Muslim or not, to give up a coffee a day, like 1 cup of coffee a day, save some money, and donate that money to the local food bank during Ramadan. The beautiful piece about the Give 30, when I first time heard about this, I fell in love with Give 30 right away. Because see, before I heard about Give 30, I used to receive calls around Christmas time, a lot of this time, like Christmas time, say, it's the season to give, and people are calling and they're starting with this idea that it's season to give. And of course I gave for good causes, but I also never forget to mention that it's season to give, but not necessarily season for us to give, right? For Muslims, and I mentioned Ramadan and that sort of stuff, but I didn't have any other alternative. This Give 30 campaign has made Ramadan also very mainstream as a season of giving and bringing people, whether they fast or not, whether they are follower of a faith or not, together in the service of the humanity, right? Like through this act of giving and trying to understand the hunger. And this year, Give 30 has become part of something even bigger. There is an interfaith fundraising and food gathering campaign. Food, what's it called? Food drives is ongoing, because right now we are where 3 Abrahamic faiths, holy days are converging. Lent, Good Friday, Lent, right? And then we have Passover for Jewish people, for our Jewish brothers and sisters. And then Ramadan is continuing. So it's really, really beautiful. You can see the power of something like Ramadan in terms of bringing people together. And also in terms of encountering a lot of those negative stereotypes that people have about Muslims, including the stereotypes that Muslims are here only to take, like, take from our resources.
Yeah.